If you see one of those things, uniform or not, you do not hesitate.
Whatever it takes to save this city.
Surprised you made it this far.
Need info on my extraction. Survival's your responsibility.
God damn it.
Will you help me?
Survival's your responsibility.
God damn it.
Display of strength. But we never meant for this to happen.
Survival's your responsibility.
And
It's coming. It's coming back.
From Squanch Games and the co-creator of Rick and Morty.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Bathtub Guy, and we're here at E3 to take some looks at this new game I'm gonna show you right now. Trover Saves the Universe. Let's give it a look. Oh, whoa, there's some action platforming stuff in this little piece of shit. I'm the Bathtub Guy. I'm always in my bathtub, but you know, it's not about me right now. It's about this game. Whoa, look at that. That's exciting footage I just saw. Oh, I'm playing it right now. Look at me. I'm a cool cucumber over here playing this cool game. Jesus Christ! Oh my God, somebody call 711 because that's the emergency dial number for this in this weird part of the galaxy because this is a sci-fi based thing. Help! He's got electrocuted.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Why are you so happy?
'Cause we get to be pirates again.
Yep, you always did like this world.
Still, it's a real shame we don't have a bigger ship. You back in the organization?
Yes. Surprising, isn't it?
Jack, don't you give this creep the time of day.
Sora, stand down. It's the code. Mustn't strike a pirate aboard ship when said pirate offers to confabulate.
I'm looking for a box.
Get them!
Sora!
They have come
Wait! Oh, no!
Stop!
Farewell! Arendelle is safer with me staying up here.
Oh,
please, go away!
And the unversed collected enough screams and sadness from those children.
Yeah, and the whole time they were trashing our company in the process!
You're following her.
Maybe she's one of the 7 pure lights we need. The new 7 hearts.
Now, set your heart free.
And at the end, you'll finally realize what destiny has in store for you. In fact, your reward might be right around the corner.
Hey, Axel.
Huh? Hey, liking the look. Cut your hair, too.
Bridges. The man who delivers. Tears. Chiral allergy. So, you have dooms, like me. What's your level?
I've got the extinction factor, but I think you got me beat.
You can see them, right?
No, but I can sense them.
Want to come work for me? Must be tough out here on your own.
I can't help you with that. I make deliveries. That's all.
It's hard
1 to 10. Watch yourself. Those things never stay gone for long. The timefall fast forwards whatever it touches, but it can't wash everything away. The past just won't let go. I'll see you around. Sam Porter Bridges.
Sam, what's your status? Chiralium density is still increasing.
My status is fucked. There's tons of them.
Can you sit out the rain?
No, they're closing in on my position. I have to move before they realize I'm in here.
Sam, if one of those things eats you, it'll trigger a void out. You'll come back, sure, but the surrounding area will still be a crater.
I got an idea.
Byte a day keeps the timefall away.
You're too late. You still don't know who I am, do you?
Who are you?
it was. Let's go. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks.
Love the optimism. But in my experience, when it looks bad, it's usually worse. Look out! Yuri! I'm slipping! Gotcha. Hold on! You okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party! Just in time for the fireworks!
Looks like we made parole, boys! I'm out!
Electro? Why is he letting everyone out?
I'll head for the main control center and see how bad the situation is.
Got it. I'll go join the party. Everyone just quietly go back into your cells and lock the door behind you. Okay? Please?
Get him down here!
Like fish in a barrel.
Catastrophic event detected.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, hi, Rhino.
Hope you like surprise, Spider!
Surprise? What is he talking about?
Hey, what's your status?
Me? Just trapped in a prison with every criminal I've put away in the last 8 years. No biggie.
Electro must be working for someone.
This is too good to be true.
Scorpion, can you hold on a minute? I was in the middle of a phone call and it was busy.
Charge him! Don't let up!
Lost you for a second there. You okay?
Not really. Electro, Rhino, and now Scorpion are all on the loose. What's going on in the rest of the prison?
Camera system's almost done. I'll give you a sit rep soon.
Okay, I'll keep tracking Electro.
Come on, Spider-Man! I thought this was a chase!
Gotta stop this guy. If you tell me who you're working for, I'll go easy on you.
Can't stop it! But I'm flattered that you still try!
Nobody ever takes me up on that offer.
Long time no see. We're going to have so much fun.
Sorry, no time to talk.
Okay, I got the security cameras back online.
How's it look?
Well, it looks like the entire population of the raft has escaped. That makes 5 of your worst enemies that are now on the loose.
For a second there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. I have to go. Some of them are heading into the city.
This is nuts.
How do you like my new suit?
Dashing. Where'd you get it?
It's an exclusive club.
Kill him. Good idea. In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
All right, that is the Sony PlayStation press conference, wrapping up with all things Spider-Man, which is a great big PlayStation exclusive that's coming out the end of this year. And joining me once again to break down all the biggest moments are Boogie2988, Andy Mack, Brandon Jones, and new guest, Atomic Mari from Smosh. So guys, we talked a lot about what we were hoping to see from PlayStation. A very different format to sort of how they put it all together. First, kind of snap judgments, gut reactions. Brandon, what was your take?
Got off to a little bit of a false start. They really like to experiment with the Sony conferences. So yeah, it was a little weird to start. I feel the impact that we got from seeing the Last of Us demo within the actual venue that they were demonstrating was probably really impactful for the people that were there, kind of confusing to people watching at home. But then it really picked up, and I thought they had a lot of really great announcements. And great games, too. A lot of great gameplay that we saw. Andy, leading into this, you were hoping for some other big things. What was your take on how Sony did this year?
Well, I mean, anytime you get a little Resident Evil in there, right? A new Remedy game. I mean, they certainly had some surprises over and above what was there. But I think one of the things that shocked me there was, one, Spider-Man looks like a lot of fun. Like, Spider-Man looks like crazy, crazy fun.
And epic and big. And that was,
I mean, it went from inside to outside on top of water. I mean, like, insane. And then also Ghosts, I mean, I didn't understand the gameplay there in Ghosts, but that was a absolutely gorgeous looking game.
Angely beautiful, like the art style.
And The Last of Us, Naughty Dog still does things that, I mean, that thing was so intense and insane right there. I had to look away. Again, they keep making me look away.
They definitely...
They want me to look away from the screen.
Push the limits. Kojima, definitely getting a little more horror focused on Death Stranding. Atomic Mari, what stood out to you at the PlayStation press conference?
I think trailer after trailer, seeing these beautiful cinematic gameplay, I think that's what Sony does so well, and I think that's what they keep hitting us with. I am so excited for Ghost, of course, and Spider-Man looked epic. I mean, I think it's everything that we love about these superhero games, but with that added Spider-Man flair and his sense of humor that kind of brings us all back to why we loved, superheroes as a kid. They're relatable and they're fun.
Yeah, that game looks incredible and coming this year. Didn't get a lot of release dates for the other ones, but we got to see at least content on them. Boogie, break it down for me. Is Francis happy?
My adrenaline is still pumping. That was incredible. That show started off so weird and a little weak, and I was like, is this Ubisoft I'm watching? It's a little cringy or something, but when it got strong, I mean, The Last of Us, I'm at a point with Last of Us, I don't want to see gameplay anymore. I just want to play it. Just let me play the game. But everything they showed there was compelled. I was glued to the screen. Death Stranding, I want to talk about you. You shot out of your chair.
I was excited because I didn't see anything on it. And it was like, we got to see some in-engine stuff, it looks like. Obviously questions about like what you're doing, while
There's
walking.
A lot of questions about what you're doing.
So, a lot of walking around, but what's the actual...
It was so electric in here when the Death Stranding started going, and you were adding to my adrenaline. So as a Spider fan, I have been hesitant to want this game, to like this game, but everything they showed there is like on the mark, and my big thought is, what will be the villain? What will be the villain? all the good villains are all here.
That's why they've got so much in there, and I've heard from the guys in Insomniac, there's a lot of story cutscenes in this game. Like it's a really rich, like Batman Arkham level of storytelling in it. So it looks amazing. Anything that they could have done better, do you think? What did you want from something that you didn't get?
I just need release dates, man. Can I please just have release dates? That's all I want in the world.
We obviously knew Spider-Man was coming out, Days Gone, but unless I missed it, didn't seem like there was even years on some, Death Stranding or Last of Us or any of those titles. Yeah.
I mean, I like release dates. I certainly love them, but I mean, I think it's always like, I think the games are the most important thing. Yeah. So like sometimes if you're not ready, and you still need to, they still need to, cook a little bit more. I am pro making the best game you can. So I want them, I do, but I mean, I want the games to be great. So I always try to remember that when I think about that. But I thought I did think we were gonna get The Last of Us date today. I did.
Or a year at least, right?
Yeah, and we didn't, but I mean, what they're doing, I mean, the way the world looked, I mean, the way the trees looked on that game, and even Ghost, like, I mean, just the technology, the way they're pushing it right now is impressive.
Absolutely.
And I don't even know how I would control Ellie in that game. I mean, there was just so much going on where she was hiding, like how she was attacking, all the melee stuff. Yeah. I mean, the dodging that we commented on when we were watching it.
Just really minute little gameplay moments. Yeah, of her going back, jumping over, the moment he throws her through the glass, hearing them react to where she is, trying to find her. Yeah. The moment where they both kind of popped in the doorway of the store with the flashlights and looked around, like, seems choreographed, seems rehearsed, seems like it was planned to be that, but then something happens that seems completely spontaneous at the same time, so.
No, lots of great gameplay overall, but no Red Dead. And you wanted
it. We're fine. It happens.
I want to say with Last of Us, the first game, as much as I love the gameplay was the weakest part, honestly. Yeah. The story is incredible, the world building is incredible, everything about it is incredible, but the gameplay is the weakest part. And with The Last of Us 2, with what they showed today, the gameplay seems so much more improved, and it has me so much more excited because I know the story is going to be good, the voice acting will be incredible, everything about it will be good. If the gameplay is good, then it's the perfect game. It's just a perfect game.
Yeah, you're right. And Naughty Dog, I think you said it, evolving it, Last was kind of an evolution of Uncharted, but this feels like sort of a real revolution in terms of how they're building the combat and the gameplay, so we're excited about that. Now, if you guys were to give PlayStation a grade in terms of A, B, C, D, how would you rate the PlayStation press conference, Brandon?
I really liked that we got good looks at these games. We were talking about Xbox earlier, and I like that they rattled off a bunch of announcements, but it's really nice to just get these long glances at these things. They're very honest. Yeah. My head is just swimming from what we saw with Death Stranding, so I'll probably settle it at a B, maybe a B- if I can, if you'll allow it.
Yeah, you can do
just because that opening was bizarre, but I think they picked really good moments of these games.
Andy, what was your take?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are my favorite. I love long, like the long.
You see the real game. It's not just like a 90-second trailer. You're getting like a true sense of the gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to get from it. So I feel like for only the 4 games, I really got a great experience. And then for the other games, they just seem so breezy, I guess, at that point, which seems kind of crazy to say about like a Resident Evil trailer or something like that. But I think it's kind of a balance, right? If you're going to go full in the other direction, it's finding that balance. And I think this year they maybe didn't have it perfected yet. Yeah. But there is something there. I really like seeing the games at this level, but I also like seeing the developers talk. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have a little bit of scene setting from them to make it a little bit more interesting, I think, from my perspective. But it's hard to complain. It's a great look at those 4 games, but it probably is in the B range. I mean, it just had kind of weird pauses in it. You know what I mean? When it went to the desk at the beginning,
that was a little odd because I think based on people I was talking to there, I guess they were moving from one tent to the next. But I think for us watching the stream here in the studio, it was a little hard to understand exactly what was happening at that point.
You could have almost thought it was over at that point.
Right,
like
post-show.
Like the post-game, yeah.
But anyways, then he said it moved to that other venue for the entire rest of the presentation, which seemed to work out.
And that's when it started cooking, to your point. Like, that's when you started, like, everything started to flow, and you just kind of went from game to game to game, and that's when it really picked up.
Very cool. Marnie, what's the score?
Yeah, I second the wanting to hear from the devs. I think the long trailers are wonderful and it's great, but it seemed a little bit fragmented without having, like almost like closure in between each of the trailers that we saw. I'd give it a B-. I would have liked a little bit more of a flow to the show.
All right. Boogie, what was your take?
Well, I'm a harsh critic.
Yeah.
And I give it a C+ because, again, I got a lot of great games and a lot of great things to look forward to, but the presentation was off and it felt disjointed and weird. The last couple of years, they've had trouble with sound. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying they were getting double sound issues right at the beginning of the stream. And the bit of the front just didn't fit an E3 presentation. I love Sid. I love everybody who was on the stage, but it just feels weird and awkward. But again, this is a lot of big promises. But when as a gamer, I want to play. Now, I've got Spider-Man to look forward to this weekend and Death Stranding. I don't care how long it takes. You know, a wise man once said, a rushed game is, you know, bad forever, but you know, a game that take the time, it's good forever, right? And so I really just want these games to come out when they're ready and when they are good. But you don't have anything for the show, right? I need at least a schedule. I need release dates. I need to have an idea of what.
And also wondering, you know, what's actually going to be playable on the show floor, because tomorrow the E3 show floor opens over at the LA Convention Center. And, you know, we see all these games at these press conferences, but it's like, what are we actually going to get to play? And I'm curious, out of all that Sony stuff, you would hope Spider-Man would be playable since it's coming out, you know, this fall. But out of all those other games, like, you know, I don't know, but I doubt we're going to get to play The Last of Us 2 or Death Stranding or any of those games at E3. So I'll be curious to see what we can actually play.
I always go into E3 trying to temper my hype. And I'm telling you, my heart is still beating 90 beats a minute, 100 beats a minute right now from that show. But I know, as a gamer who's been burnt over and over again in his whole life, I have to wait for the release dates. I have to know when it's out. But the adrenaline is still kicking right now. It's so good. This looks so good. It was a great show otherwise.
So now, you know, we are effectively, all the announcements are over for E3 except for whatever Nintendo's going to drop tomorrow in the morning. How would you guys say E3 is overall? I mean, it seems like there have been some cool games showcased. Nothing totally, completely shocking. I mean, I don't know, like a Cyberpunk show was cool to see that, but it's like we haven't seen the gameplay yet on that. Anything that has really stood out to you guys is, you know, something that just blew your mind out of everything you've seen over the past 3 days?
Well, I mean, I think E3's changing, right? I mean, E3's changing as it becomes more of a consumer show and changes the way it goes. And I think it's going to change the way we're going to present games and what we're going to get to see. But, you know, like Cyberpunk looked way better than I thought, you know, like what I thought it was going to be. Cool. But, you know, that is the same thing too. We're going to get a lot of things that are videos that aren't gameplay yet. I saw a lot of games that I was like, even like Fallout 76, after even Todd sat there and explained it, I was like, I get what you're going for.
That's not even here at E3.
Yeah, but I need to play it to understand. There's just, it got to that point of so much info, but just not enough for me to truly understand.
No, he was here and I was asking a bunch of questions, and it's just like they're explaining some of it, but the fact that the game's not here and it's coming in November, it's kind of difficult to really evaluate like what's there, right?
What is there? And I think that's the thing that I got from even Microsoft. I got that from Ubi. I mean, we're getting a chance to play some of these, you know, especially the ones that are coming sooner. But a lot of them, we're going to have to just go with some of the trailers and what we learn around them. And I think that's kind of part of the change of E3, right? Is to focus more on games that are coming out in 2018.
Here and now,
You know what I mean? And less of the games that are coming out in the future. So we'll see as E3 changes more and more. But I do look around and say, look, there's a lot of great games for a lot of people with a lot of different tastes. And I think that's important. I mean, that's the most important thing.
I saw you tweet. That's cool. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, it's good. So
and tomorrow we'll get some Nintendo. All right, what are you expecting from Nintendo tomorrow? Smash Brothers, of course.
Smash, that'll be a big one. They've got their event tomorrow, so that'll be fun as well. You know, I really love seeing more and more games coming onto the Switch. And I think that's a huge reflection on the fact that they understand that their audience is aging up. And, you know, with the Switch, it's more of this, you know, beautiful sort of mature sort of platform. And so I think with more and more of these games coming onto it, I think they understand that it's us playing, not just our children.
I know the rumors have been floating around for Fortnite on the Switch. I've heard it, and I actually spoke with someone from Epic earlier, and I was too afraid to ask because I don't want to know the answer.
Did they give you an NDA?
Right? No, nothing to sign this time. But I'm like, I really hope that happens, because I'm going to talk about a console seller right now. I really feel like playing the Nintendo Switch via Wi-Fi in bed. I'm just so excited for Nintendo right now, because growing up on a Nintendo system, I was so frustrated with the Wii U generation. I purchased every game, I played every game, and I was the only one in the neighborhood that had a Nintendo, and it wasn't a good thing like when I was a kid. You know?
I think Fortnite, you know, it's on every platform out there, so it's coming to Switch. It's a question of when.
And I hope that's one of their biggest announcements tomorrow, because I know that game is so socially relevant right now. It'll sell millions of consoles.
Well, and I wonder, you know, who knows? Maybe they'll drop it right away, or it's like the kind of thing where I think if once they announce it, it may come out quickly too. Because I don't see, I'm actually surprised it's not on Switch yet, because it's on every phone out there, every device, every computer, every console. So it's like you think, and I think would be a pretty compelling experience to be able to play Fortnite like that, because you're not playing against someone on a console or PC from your phone, but maybe on a Switch. You can actually have a competitive. And
some of these bigger games, Wolfenstein, Doom, they got to kind of downgrade the visuals a little bit, the performance. You just expect that coming to the Switch, and I'm sure Fortnite's going to be gorgeous on that thing. I don't think there's going to be any discrepancy between the other platforms.
Yeah, the game scales very well, like to its platform.
I do want to say one thing about E3 this year that's really been fascinating. My friends, I live in Bentonville, Arkansas, so my friends over at Walmart dropping the ball with the big
Walmart
big
Canada
this year. Walmart Canada. I know
I know
people that work on that team still right now.
Oh, really?
And I asked them at some point. I'm like, hey, what happened? They're like, oh, we just messed up. So I knew.
we didn't get Borderlands 3. There are a couple that
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell were in there. I asked Emo about that today. He was like, didn't sound like it's imminent that anything.
But I'm so amazed that all of the shows were still fantastic, even though we've all known for a few weeks that a lot of these games were coming out. They still managed to really capture the hype and really present these shows in an amazing way. My heart goes out to the developers and the publishers of these games that had a little bit of that hype stolen, but just a triumph to see them really, really drive it home regardless. Didn't knock any of the adrenaline out of them, didn't knock any of the momentum, and it was still a really great show all around so far, and I hope Nintendo can bring it home.
So quickly, go around. Game of the show so far, Brandon?
My game of the show so far.
Haven't played a lot, I know.
Spider-Man. I mean, I'm just so crazy about that.
All right, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super psyched to play Spider-Man. I think it's, everything comes from the play. I think I'll tell you, not my game of the show, but my surprise of the show, the thing that I'm really excited for is the Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yes.
Wow. Like that is a game I didn't know I was going to be so excited about. Even like they kind of asked, I was like, and then I was kind of watching, I was thinking to myself, I have a hard time finding great mobile games. And like to be able to play Elder Scrolls in a lot of different ways and kind of take it with me and do different things and just, play in that world and spend more time in that world, like I'm all about that. So that's one of those things that's really piqued my interest, and like I want to play that soon.
All right.
I'm so excited for Ghost of Tsushima, but I gotta say Fallout 76.
Okay.
I am excited to create shows around it. I think the fact that it's a giant map with probably not too many people on it. So when you do run into people, it'll be a huge surprise, and I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Boogie?
I want to say Death Stranding because it looks just so bizarre and unique. But without a release date, I can't really give it to the show. And
you can ask Kojima. He's coming up.
I'm waiting right here. I'm not moving from this spot till he's here.
Boogie's a batch. He's like, I want myself.
I was going to say Fallout 76, but I just realized today there can't be VATS in Fallout 76, and I'm a VATS player, so I'm
so I talked to Todd. He said there is real-time VATS, is what he calls it.
If there is, then they're saving me. I need VATS to play.
How are you going to do that with the slow-mo? He's like, no slow-mo, it's all real-time. But again, these are the kind of things that we didn't get in the presentation yesterday, and like those are major questions that people have about the game.
When it comes to game of the show, as a Spider fan, as a Marvel fan, dyed in the wool, born in the blood of Spider-Man.
All right.
I'm chomping at the bit. I want to play it right now. I'm leaving the studio as soon as Kojima shakes my hand, and I'm going to go find a demo, and I'm going to play it.
All right.
Whether they want me to or
Hopefully
not.
it's playable. Someone told me it's at Sony tonight because some people are even playing it, so it sounds like it is playable in some form. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for all your insights on all things PlayStation. And, of course, we're just 5 people. We want to know what you guys thought about Sony's showcase tonight. So let's take a look at some of the social reaction to the PlayStation Showcase. All right, with Sony's show over, the big press conferences of our show have come to a close, but we want to know which was your favorite. So tweet us using hashtag Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, or Ubisoft, and let us know who you think won E3. And as always, the hashtag YouTube E3 can be used to let us know your thoughts and reactions. We want to hear what you have to say. We also want to give a shout out to all the super chatters out there in our official YouTube chat room. Epics Nation, Unlimited Gamer, Goofy Movies, and Dummy. Thanks for watching and super chatting. We have some great guests coming by. Destiny is here. Hideo Kojima is making his way over to the studio for his first interview. I've heard he may have a special guest with him. You're not going to want to miss it. That's coming up in a few minutes. But right now, the next game is from Little Big Planet and Tearaway creators, Media Molecule. It's an interesting one, a level creator at heart, but like Little Big Planet before it, it's ultimately so much more. And here to tell us about Dreams is level designer John Beach. John, we got a little hint of Dreams in the press conference. There were some little interstitials, right?
Yeah, there was a few little ones. We thought we'd have a little bit of fun, you know?
Yeah, you guys always have fun. And it was great working with you at the Game Awards where we revealed some of the story mode, that you guys have all these amazing adventures. So Dreams, I got to play with this about a month ago. And there's so much in this game. I mean, the platform that it's created with, even the music creation tools are just incredible what you guys have built. So here at E3, what are you going to show off for Dreams?
Well, we've got Dreams down to show the press. We're going to do a bit of hands-on with the press so they can see what it's like. We're going to show some of the content that we've got, some little snippets, and we've got some create stuff to show them. Yeah, the imps. We've got some create stuff so they can have a go at the create, you know, see what that feels like. Right. And then we've got some community levels that we've made that have just been made by us in the studio.
Oh, I mean, this game, the montage we had at the end of the Game Awards trailer just showed the sheer depth of the types of games, the diversity of what you can do. Because Little Big Planet, you know, you can make great stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like you could tell they were Little Big Planet levels. And here, there are things where people create. I don't think they could even realize that it's made with Dreams because it doesn't have a certain signature to it. It has the signature of the author, which can be different for everyone. So here, I mean, here's someone literally just starting to paint and create a level, right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we go back to what you said about the sort of, you know, your signature comes through. And we really think that your ability and your sort of, you know, signature really comes through on it. And I can tell any of the artists who made this, I can look at that and go, Maya made that, or John made that. And so we love it. And here, we've just got the guys, they've just got some bits and they're just assembling it together. And you can see how fast it is to make a level. It's just...
So you can obviously make your levels. You can, you know, play, create, share, put these online, which is fantastic. And then also, you know, the music creation that you can build sort of an entire game. But you guys at Media Molecule have built sort of 3 stories, effectively, that people can play through as a single-player experience. And it was entirely created using the game tools, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everything you look at in Dreams is completely made in Dreams. Like, I can't stress it enough. We don't do any cheating. I come into work, I pick up a dual shot or moves, and I make it. And, you know, people, they hear that, and you just can't believe it. But we really do make everything. And so the content that you get to play will all be done in Dreams. And hopefully, when the community get their hands on it, they're going to make really awesome stuff that we just can't wait to see.
I love that you make it with a DualShock. Now, the thing with Dreams is we've been hearing about this game since the PlayStation 4 reveal in, I think, 2013 or something. So is this the year? When do we get to actually experience this?
Well, we don't have a release date set yet, but we are going to announce a beta, you know, coming up. We're not sure yet when, but, you know, soon we're going to have a beta that you guys will be able to get your hands onto it, and then a release date sometime after that. All
right, well, a lot of people will be dreaming up over at E3. It's so cool that the press is going to get a chance to jump in. I can't wait to make my level. You guys are such a creative studio in Guildford, England, one of my favorite studios in the world. It's so much fun hanging out with everyone there, and I know this has been a long project for the team, but it's you're building a platform, not just a game. So it's great to see it. Thank you so much for stopping by, John.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Have a great E3.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to head on back here as we've got a couple guests in studio as we head up to our big Hideo Kojima interview to close out the show tonight. And we're going to talk about a game that you did see in the press conference. It's an important sequel expansion coming later this year from Bungie's Destiny 2 Forsaken. We have project lead Scott Taylor and game director Steve Cotton. Guys, thank you so much for wrapping out live at E3 with us. You guys had a big stream, I think it was last week, revealing a lot around Forsaken, a lot of people tuning in. And then you had that trailer in the PlayStation press conference. And
did you see it?
Yeah, what's okay? I mean, what's up? I mean, I see the image at the end. I'm like, this is scary.
This is real.
So tell us, put some context around what we saw there.
Well, first of all, we didn't kill Cade.
Okay.
So don't hate us. Aldrin killed Cade.
Yes. Okay.
All right. But we wanted to tell a darker a darker story.
Yeah.
A more high-stakes story, one with a gritty atmosphere. But most importantly, we wanted there to be consequence in a world filled with immortal heroes. And we wanted that consequence to be personal.
Wow.
Yeah, we have some great bad guys in this one, and so wanted to make it so that you really hated them. And I don't think there's anything more that we could have done to get the blood boiling than to off Cade. So it was something we talked a lot about. It was a really serious call, but we think it's the right thing to make players really, really care about their journey.
Is he really dead?
He looks dead. He does not look good.
Exactly.
He's dead.
Okay.
He is dead.
He is dead. Wow.
He is dead.
All right, so that's a big, shocking moment in the Destiny lore. And I guess one question I have for you is, story narrative. It's something you guys focused really on in Destiny 2. So this expansion, are we going to expect a lot of narrative development in it?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's the thing we wanted to do with this expansion was really, really go for the hobby and really expand that part of it. And so for us, that means telling an awesome story that we can hang all these awesome things that make Destiny, great gunplay and great investment, and have that wrapped with a theme and a tone. And so yeah, that was really important. We wanted to really hang that all around something that was very, very impactful. And then once you set that tone, that kind of informs a bunch of other decisions that we're pretty happy about.
We wanted to recapture our most engaged players' imagination with the story, and then really get them back into a game where we're bringing the depth back to Destiny, and we wanted to make sure that they were along for the ride.
Wow. Well, it's one of those games that, fans love, and they always have suggestions for things they want to see as the game will evolve. And you guys have done a great job, I think, over the past year, iterating on the game, responding to fans. A lot of excitement last week online, the weapon system. People were freaking out about that. Tell us about how you're evolving the weapon system for a second.
So we are actually, we're changing the weapon slots. We're moving them around a little bit. So the first 2 slots are going to become more impactful. There's going to be more choice. So we really wanted players to be able to choose the way that they wanted to play. So you're also going to get more access to the weapons that you liked as so much, like the shotgun, the sniper rifle, the fusion rifle. So like I think we said in the Vidoc, you're going to get to play, you can play like Destiny 1, you can play Destiny 2, or you can run 3 shotguns, like if you want.
There's a theme that you're hopefully hearing and seeing from us, which is that we want players to be able to engage with Destiny like however they want. Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to play? We're going to have new activities like Gambit, which we're having on the floor here. And then we have all the weapons changes we're doing. We're adding random rolls back to the weapons. We have the weapon slots changes, new mods. Yeah, it's all those things kind of wrapped together.
Wow. Well, a lot of excitement around what you guys are doing with this one. Let's also talk about kind of raids, endgame. I mean, everyone wants to know about how you're gonna challenge us again.
You want to know about the raid?
I don't know if that's gonna.
Those people are very strong.
When have we ever talked about the raid?
They will hurt me. I look like a weak, whatever this is, and so they will. Yeah, I don't want. They're watching this.
We're ready for a challenge.
They're watching this.
Ready.
I'm not doing.
So tell us though about the challenge endgame. Like how are you approaching that this time?
So, well, first of all, the challenge is going to be there. In fact, we're putting the challenge in front of you earlier and more often. Because we think that's what drives players to want to get better, to want to get more powerful. So, and to want to go out in the world and get all those things. And I think we talked about it on the Vidoc, the Dreaming City is a big part of that in-game destination that we built. And the team did an amazing job, but the amount of secrets they've hidden around there, and just the challenge and the activities to do there.
So the raid's there. We have the raid, or there's a destination that's built out from the raid. And if you're not on the raid, you're still going to go there. There's going to be activities and secrets. But the raid is like the center of that. There's a big tower that you kind of want to get to the whole time. And it's tied into the story. So we're doing it where it's not like you just fight a bigger version of the bad guy, but it pulls the whole theme together and really delivers on that satisfying conclusion.
Amazing. Well, we can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us. Here at E3, are people going to get to play anything? What are you guys showing?
They might get to play something. Right,
what is it? I think you know. He's
I don't know why I'm pretending that I don't know. You've seen it already. Gambit is our brand new activity in the Forsaken, and it's we are super excited about showing it off. It takes all the best parts of Destiny, fighting against combatants, fighting against guardians, giant bosses, and kind of smashes them together in a really new, innovative way to play that we think only Destiny can really do.
Yeah, it's definitely putting all the things together that Bungie's done throughout its existence, and killing guardians and fighting other combatants and like mashing it up in a blender. And it's a whole new activity. It's not just a Crucible mode. It's featured on the director, front and center, as a whole new thing to do in Destiny. A new activity. Most impactful thing we've done since Destiny 1.
Easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you guys continue to evolve the experience. And you said it's a devoted fan base, but I know you guys are just as devoted to giving the fans what they want. And it's just like you got a great reaction last week. Excited to have it at E3 and excited to play it.
Thank you.
If you're coming by, right?
I will be coming by. I have a busy E3 Coliseum schedule.
This is a commitment. You're going to say that you're coming by. He's going to come by.
Probably Thursday at 5 o'clock when the Coliseum closes.
It's before that.
I will be there. I will come by, guys.
It's going to be great.
It's awesome. Well,
Thanks,
thank
Jeff.
you so much for spending your Monday evening with us as we get ready to kick off E3. And we have a lot more YouTube Live at E3 coming up here in the next few minutes. You're not going to miss it because ever since our next game was introduced last fall, gamers have been entranced by its lovely hand-drawn visuals and deep emotional themes about bullying and growing up, all told through the lens of street art. So now we have two guests from Pixelopolis here to talk about their new game, Concrete Genie. Creative Director Dom Robillard and Art Director Jeff Sangal. Guys, great to have you with us here. Concrete Genie, a very special game, I think, in the PlayStation family. And Dom, you've done some amazing games at PlayStation that push in different directions. Concrete Genie, tell us about the genesis of the idea for this game. We're going to look at some footage of it, but it's a game that has a real heart and message to it. And was that really the genesis of the idea, was the theme?
It was. You know, we've been lucky to have time at PlayStation to cultivate this idea in this game. And it actually began from some team-wide brainstorming that we had. And one of our artists, a VFX artist, came up with this idea of a boy that was standing up to being bullied by painting artwork into the walls. And as we unpacked the idea, we realized that we could have something important to say about that actually in the gameplay itself. And so that was really the beginning of it, you know, nearly 3 years ago.
Wow, and tell us about sort of the art and the style of this, because as you said, street art functions into it, but it's an incredibly beautiful world. So tell us about sort of the artistic direction of this game.
Yeah, we really wanted the game to feel like it was handcrafted. So, you know, down to every nuance of the world. And we wanted it to feel like your illustrations will just come to life.
Yeah. Wow, well, you can definitely tell that. Now tell us about the interface, because when we first saw it, it's very interesting about how you can sort of, you know, impact the world and express yourself in the world. So how do you do that in the game? What's the gameplay?
So we wanted to make sure that it was as intuitive and as accessible as possible, and a big part of our player fantasy is making sure that everybody feels that they could be an artist. And so we use the motion controller to just guide your cursor around, and everything that you do and every mark that you make in the world kind of blossoms and comes to life. And it's almost like we've imagined that being an artist is a superpower, and if we could give that to everybody to try and be and have as much fun with it as they possibly could, that was one of our main goals.
Wow, well, it definitely feels that. You can see it here, some of the interface, obviously, and being able to sort of go through it. So tell us this story, how does it sort of evolve throughout the game? There's obviously this sense of expression, but how does the game or the story and narrative evolve as you play through it?
So Ash is a young kind of budding artist, and he lives in this fishing town called Denska. And there's been an environmental disaster here, and everybody has moved away. And part of his goal is to save the town and rejuvenate it. And he discovers that his artwork and his living paint can actually cleanse the walls and help bring all of the light and the life back to the city. And he does that by not just painting these landscapes, but also making these creatures. And every single one that you make is unique to each individual player. And they're like little friends and that you can hang out with and play games with and solve puzzles with as well.
Wow. And obviously a lot of these creatures, I assume there's quite a cast of characters that you're going to meet.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure that the relationships that you have with these creatures are kind of underwritten by the gameplay so that you care about them on a gameplay level. And so it's important that each player makes their own cast of people that they play around with, and that was another big aim of ours in the game.
Well, I think it's so important that games like this come out for PlayStation platforms. We saw lots of aggressive action games tonight, and that's fantastic. But the fact that this is a game that expresses itself in a different way and allows you to express yourself in this world, I think is really important. And that, you know, theme of bullying, is that, how prevalent is that sort of throughout the game?
That's a really good question. We wanted to make sure that first and foremost, it's a fun adventure game. And the bullying is there, kind of bubbling away underneath the surface. And the reason that we thought we could make it work as a theme and cared about it so much is that the bullies in the game, they push Ash around, and eventually they start ruining his artwork And that kind of brings you in because, of course, it's not just Ash's artwork, it's your artwork as the player.
Yeah.
And so it helps you understand this concept and this idea from a way that really only a game can make you feel it because of the interaction and that it's your artwork, not just his.
Wow. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful experience. Where are you at in development on the game?
We're just wrapping up production at the moment.
Okay.
Kind of, we're not talking release date yet. There's a few things we want to go back in and do and polish away.
Yeah.
But we do have a playable demo here at E3 as well, behind closed doors. So it's going to be fun watching people play the game for the first time as well.
Well, again, you guys are a studio at PlayStation that is always pushing in different directions. I think it's really important to have these types of games in the overall portfolio for PlayStation. So congratulations on adding something new and different to the video game industry. We can't wait to play Concrete Genie. So thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All right, well, let's take another look at what you guys are saying on social media. Hideo Kojima is in the building and will be with me right after this. Welcome back to YouTube Live at E3, and right now it is such an honor to welcome a very special guest to the show who brought another special guest with us. You saw the brand new trailer for Death Stranding, the first look at that in-engine gameplay that we've all been waiting to see, one of the most anticipated games of all time, Death Stranding, from the legendary Hideo Kojima. And Mr. Kojima, it's such an honor for you to join us here on YouTube Live at E3. And you brought a very special guest with you who was revealed as one of the cast members, the one and only Lindsay Wagner. Lindsay, it is so great to have you here at E3 and be part of Mr. Kojima's latest production, as we can see on your shirt, new key art with featuring you. So we have so many questions, Mr. Kojima, about what you showed. But first of all, I want to talk about you, Lindsay, because this is, we knew about Mads and Norman being in the cast, but this was a big reveal that you're involved in this. So tell me, how do you and Hideo Kojima meet? How does this happen?
He surprised me. He called me.
He calls you on the phone?
They called me.
Yes.
And said he was interested in me being using my image in the film. I mean,
right.
Film. I have to get used to your
lingo. It's similar to a film. Yes, the game.
Yeah, the game. And so I said, we need to meet and talk. I need to know more about it. And so he told me the essence of it and the intentions for various parts of it, which of course we won't tell you.
Yes. He's already warned you, don't.
And
he's sneaky.
But I just, honestly, after doing my research and meeting him and the rest of his people, I was so impressed.
It's incredible.
And I thought, well, you know what? If I've never done one before and I'm going to start out, I may as well start out with the best.
The best of the best, absolutely. Now, Mr. Kojima, has it always been a goal of yours to have Lindsay in one of your games? How did you pick her?
いただくのはずっと夢だったんですが、どういう基準で彼女を選んだんですか？
僕にとってリンジェさんも特別な存在で、僕の人生で一番憧れて影響を受けた人がリンジェさんです。
First and foremost, Lindsay is such a special person for me. She's the person that I idolized and admired the most in my life and had a deep, deep impact for me.
で、新しいスタジオを作って、新しいタイトルを作るときにですね、まずノーマンは最初決めてました。彼を主人公にゲームを作ろうとしています。
So when creating a new studio, when trying to work on a new project, I started thinking of the cast. And well, first I had my mind set on Norman for the starring main role.
で次にヒロインなんですけども、もういつ死んでもいいようにですね、一番影響を受けた人、リンゼーさんにヒロインの役をやってもらおうって、それはもう、企画のほぼ、当初ですね、ノーマンを決めたその翌日ぐらいにも心の中で決めてました。
And then for the heroine, well, I was thinking, might as well be my last project. I don't know, so I want to make it count. And well, the person that has influenced me the most, that I look up for the most, is Lindsay. So this was decided at a very early stage of the project. Pretty much the day after I decided for the main role for Norman, I had my mindset on her for the heroine role.
ただ最初にお会いする時にですね、非常にこうセンシティブになってナーバスになって。もう気持ち悪くなるぐらい緊張してしまって逃げ出したかったっていうのは本音です。
But to be completely honest, right before meeting Lindsay for the first time, I was so nervous, so stressed. I almost felt nausea out of the stress.
You got to meet Mr. Nero, got to meet Lindsay Wagner. Tell me about Lindsay, her career. What spoke to you so much about her and her roles over the years? Why you idolize her so much?
リンゼーさんのどういうところ、どういう役割がそんなに影響を与えたのか教えてください。
そうです。僕は13歳の時にバイオニックウーマンを見て、毎週見てましたテレビで。
So when I was 13, I used to watch Bionic Woman every week.
そこからもうすごいもう続婚になって、Two People とか。ペーパーチェイスとか後追いですけど映画とかも全部見ました。
And from there, I was so fascinated by her that afterwards I just started seeing everything I could say from her to Chase as well.
Paper Chase.
Sorry, Paper Chase. All her movies I started watching afterwards.
バイオニックウーマンのすごいところはですね、サイボーグなんですけども、今のマーベルヒーローとかとは違って人に暴力は絶対振るわないんです。
Now, the one thing that was so special about the Bionic Woman is that she's a cyborg, she has special abilities, but she never uses violence, unlike Marvel heroes or heroes.
特殊能力を人を傷つけたりは絶対しないやり方で、彼女の本当の強さで、人々を救うっていうそういうドラマで、それがまさにリンゼさんのキャラクターというか、そのお会いして分かったのはそのものだったんですね。リンゼさんの思想から何から。なんで僕の中の女神です彼女は。
So she never uses her special powers to inflict pain and to hurt people. She tries always to solve any conflicts with her own unique kind of strength. That was so special for me. And then after meeting her, I realized that was Lindsay herself. That was not only the Bionic Woman, but that was herself, which confirmed that she's a goddess for me.
Wow. Now, video games, you mentioned about, solving things throughout violence. Sometimes video games can be very violent. People, misunderstand them. The video game world, you said, was new to you, Lindsay. Was there any sort of trepidation about, stepping into one of these games or what was going to be involved in it?
Sure. Just, if it was just a typical good guy, bad guy, I win because I'm more violent and I'm stronger, I was not interested.
Yeah.
But I found him to be very deep person and beautiful team, and the intention for the piece I thought was exquisite, and we can't tell you any more about it.
I was going to say, it's like, if you can tell us the intention of the piece, but it's like, he's very mysterious, but he said such a deep thinker in all his work. And that's not just this game, all his games have deep feeling about family and time and space and all those elements.
And now I'm going to have to learn to do a video game.
Now you have to play. Do you have your PlayStation at home yet? We got to get you a PlayStation.
Soon. Yes, please. I'm waiting. I'll get you my address.
最初に、お会いするときにですね、リンゼーさんが人と人が銃で撃ち合うゲームが多くて、そういうのがちょっとあまり好きじゃないっていう話を聞いてたんですね。
So one thing I knew before meeting her was that Lindsay, she knew about games, and she knew that most games were about shooting each other, about punching each other, and that she was not very fond of that. That I knew beforehand.
で、このデス・ストランディングはそういうゲームじゃなくて、銃ではなくて縄という概念で、 人々をつなぐ、世界をつなぐゲームですっていうのを、最初お会いした時3時間半かけて説明しました。
So when first meeting her, I explained to her that this game was not about just combat and punching each other, but about having the concept of a rope, and through this concept, bringing everyone together. And I took my time, 3 hours and a half, explaining her that concept the first time I met her.
So he talked to you for 3.5 hours about his vision?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
全然5分ぐらいの感じでしたけど。
I mean, it felt like 5 minutes.
もう断られたら死んでしまうって感じだった。
I was thinking that I was gonna die if she didn't take the role.
A very important meeting. So tell us about the process of being in this game. You went through the scan and you're performing and all that? Tell us about that. Was that new for you, doing all that?
That was very new.
Yeah.
I've not done motion capture or anything like that before.
Wow.
But it's all
dots on your face.
Zillion dots, which did not want to come off at the end of the day. And I was panicked to go home looking like, you know, I had the pox, the chicken pox or something. Yeah, it was very interesting sitting in a booth with, I don't know, how many cameras were there? Like 100 and something?
160台ぐらい。
Like around 160, yeah.
160 cameras in this tent where you sit in the middle of it. And then, of course, I had to come in a leotard. You know, so I hadn't been in a leotard for a couple decades.
Oh, you do that, and then obviously you get going and do voiceover eventually and performance, and so there's obviously a lot of scenes. We see some amazing moments here with the character. Do we have a name for your character? Are we allowed to ask?
ありますけどまだないです。
Of course she has a name, and of course we haven't said it.
林勢さんにしかできないちょっと特殊なキャラクター、大きなキャラクターですね。
The character itself is a very important character that only Lindsay would be able to do.
Okay. All right. Well, again, we have lots of questions now. I have to ask you about some of the things we saw in the trailer because you got to see it there at the press conference. The reaction, there's so much there. Mr. Kojima, I think everyone was very excited to see what looked like gameplay of the game, and many people online were like, it looks like it's in game, but then people say we see Norman, but then we see other characters walking around. So a lot of people are saying, do you play as other characters as well, or is it just as Norman's character? What can you tell us?
このデス・ストランディングはノーマンになるゲームです。ノーマンしか操れません。
This Death Stranding is about controlling Norman, so you can only control Norman's character.
All right, so there are other characters obviously running around. I think some people were wondering, the gameplay. We saw a lot of walking, we saw a lot of exploring, but people were wondering about the, the combat, the interaction, the enemies, sort of, what that experience will be like. Can you share anything about that and how that will work in the game?
そこはどうなるのかっていうのはすごく気になってるみたいです。
まあ敵みたいなのは当然います。
Well, first, yes, of course, you have some enemy-like.
まあ力で戦っていくこともできますけど、そうじゃないやり方がいっぱいあるので。
And it is possible to power your way through it, but also the game offers you lots of alternative ways to go around it.
で当然戦って敵を倒すことが目的では全くありません。
And of course, the goal of this game is not fighting with your enemy and defeating the enemy.
世界をつないでいくのが目的なので。
The goal of this game is to reconnect the world.
まあとはいえシューティングが好きな人もいると思うので。
That said, though, I'm guessing that a lot of people out there.
そういうこともできますけど、それは進めできませんし、そういうゲームではないというのがプレイをしていると分かってくる仕組みです。
A lot of people out there are into shooters, so people can do that also in this game. However, I would not recommend that, and through playing the game, people would realize that that is not the ideal option, although they will have that option.
And Mads recently said the game was about global player collaboration. So can you tell us about how we will all work together?
I like that.
Exactly. Yes.
That's the term I was looking for.
さんが勝手に言ってしまった。
That was Matt speaking on his own.
Okay. No comment.
間違いではないです。
But I'll just say he's not wrong.
Well, we can't wait to see, the layers of this, and I think we all wish we could get a 3.5-hour meeting with you to hear about the vision of what this is going to be. So, Lindsay, now
I don't even know it all.
Oh, believe me, none of us do. It's like he loves to, twist the baby and all these things, and you see all these trailers, and people want to piece them together, but we all have so much faith because when he finally brings the game out, and the deepness of the vision, I think, always blows us away. So, now that you've been involved in this, been a part of it, have you only sort of become even more sort of enamored with the process of games and what he's creating? I must imagine it's it's been amazing for you to even to be in that room tonight to see the reaction and see the finished footage.
It was interesting because my experience of the reactions was people were like, you know, other people see something, somebody whacks somebody and they bleed and they go, yeah, you know, and they were watching this, and then that Norman would do something and they'd be, they were almost quiet a lot of the time, because I think it was so unusual that they didn't know what to think or what they were seeing, because he doesn't give a lot away in the trailer for sure about what's going on. And it's spellbinding. I know. They were just kind of spellbound instead of riled up.
Oh yeah, no, it was an amazing moment.
It was an interesting experience.
The reveal of you, and there's another female character as well. What can you tell us about that other character?
女性キャラもいたようですけど、その女性キャラについては何かちょっと。レアさんも大好きな女優さんで。
So it was Lea Seydoux, who I'm also is also an actress I'm very fond of.
レアさんもレアさんにしかできないような役です。
And I prepared for her
すごく重要な役です。
a character, and also a very important character that only Lea will be able to pull off.
Excellent. And that's all we get. All right, well. Mr. Kojima.
Nice try, though.
I know. Hey, I've been trying for years. You're just like little pieces. So I got to say, it was a beautiful trailer. It's so great to have you in the video game industry. We can't wait to see more of your performance in the game. And it was nice to see the gameplay, because I know many people online are always like, he makes these beautiful cinematic, you know, trailers that we've seen at the Game Awards, but now we see the real game, Decima engine, gameplay real time. There is a game there, and we can't wait to see more of it and play it sometime soon. So thank you very much, Mr. Kojima. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube Live at E3. Not long ago, we asked all you guys out there to vote on your favorite press conference of the show, and the results are in, so let's find out who you guys thought had the best press conference of E3. Let's check it out. There you go. All right, early reaction. People love the Xbox press conference. Bethesda, Ubisoft, Sony. That's how the tail of the tape is, at least now, according to everyone online. So Xbox, over half the votes saying that they thought Xbox had the best press conference, followed by Bethesda, and a lot of big news and announcements. Well, that's it for YouTube Live at E3. We had to wrap it up with Mr. Kojima's special guest, Lindsay Wagner. I want to give a special thank you to all our amazing guests, from gaming icons to YouTube stars and everyone in between. This is really important to do this show, to celebrate games. I want to thank everyone at YouTube and my team that puts this together. We do 16 hours live over 2 days, and it's such an honor for me. I've been to every E3 since 1995, the first one, and I love just being able to do this and share gaming with you. On that, we had a great E3. We've got an amazing week ahead. Starting tomorrow, the E3 Coliseum will stream on YouTube. Tomorrow, the creators of Westworld will kick things off at 1 p.m. Eastern, followed by a full panel on The Last of Us Part 2 with some big surprises there. You won't want to miss it. So make sure to watch that on YouTube. And our most special thanks is reserved for you, the people around the world that watch the show as viewers of this program. Thank you for sticking with us. Thanks for tweeting with the hashtag YouTubeE3. And thanks for being a game player. All right, well, of course, we've got a great crew that brings this to life. We want to thank you so much for everything you've done. We'll see you next year for YouTube Live at E3. Good night, everybody. Enjoy E3.